I have known Greg Willis and his wife Dawn for over 10 years. I first met Greg when I contacted him to sell my home in Pecan Plantation. And my house was sold within 24 hours. He listed it and it was sold within 24 hours. I was absolutely ecstatic. He told me how to set my house up for showing, and I followed his specific instructions, and magic, it worked. Then I contacted him a few years later to purchase another home, and he and his wife showed me, believe it or not, roughly 100 homes. Patiently, very patiently, because we looked and we looked and we looked. And they were wonderful. Their integrity and their loyalty to their clients is something that's hard to find, and I appreciated everything that they did for me. Make a long story short, I bought the home after we looked 100 times. I walked in and said, oh, this is it. Bought it. Greg and his wife handled all those details. A few years later, I contacted Greg and his wife again, and they put that house on the market for me, and we sold it. And again, they handled all the details. I can't ask or recommend better folks to handle your real estate transactions. They're wonderful.
Hello, my name is Colin Wilson. This is my wife Kelly, and we just wanted to kind of share a little bit about our experience with TexasRealEstateSavings.com. And we've known Greg and Dawn for many years, and it was just a good opportunity for us to knowing what they do and how they take care of things that we try to enlist them to sell our house for us, and it was just a really good experience.
What I think drew us the most to Greg and Dawn was their personal attention to their clients, and we had heard about that and knew them as friends, but experiencing them through their real estate company just proved that that's true, that they take their clients and put the personal touch with that, and that was really important to us.
It always helps to save a little money too. It's a good name that they have, but we did save quite a bit of money in our respects, because not only at the sale, but also because of the way that Greg and Dawn worked for us during the opportunities when we had offers, and which ones were good offers, which ones were not, and those kind of things. So it was a very educating experience for us, even though we've been through the house selling thing many times. This was truly an original experience for them, and we just want to thank them for doing that.
I met Greg in late October. My husband had passed away in July, and my boys were wanting me to move closer to them. And before Greg came to the house, though, he said, the boys kept saying, now don't let them talk you into anything. You know, real estate people could really get on you, and don't let them talk you into anything. So Greg came to the house, and we talked about selling the house. And he was so exceptionally nice and so exceptionally understanding. And he said to me, are you ready to sell? And I said, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. And he said, then you just call me when you're ready. And I kept thinking, well, it's going to be, you know, I'm going to have to put up with phone calls and all this all the time. It never happened. He called me, or I called him, excuse me, I called him in, after Christmas, and I said I was ready. And that's when he came over and we started the process. The entire process has been so easy for me because they have been so kind. If something needed to be done on the computer and I wasn't sure how to do it, they told me where to go and get help. Everything has just run so smoothly. They put the house on the market after they've done beautiful pictures of it, and they priced it. And they must have done a beautiful job, because within 3 days I had 3 offers. And one of them was exactly what I was asking for. So it was just a wonderful process. Going through the closing of the house has been, again, just flawless. And besides all that, I'm going to have some savings in my bank. So I think they were fabulous realtors, both Greg and Dawn.
Well, my name is Brooke Akins, and I'm a first-time homebuyer in Granbury, Texas. And I used Greg and Dawn Willis as my agents here. And the experience I had with them was wonderful. As I said, I'm a first-time homebuyer and virtually knew nothing about how to buy a home. And I found them on Zillow. I put an inquiry in on Zillow.com, and within 5 minutes, Greg called me back and said he would like to help me, and from then on it was just painless. I had a ton of questions for him, and he was so patient to answer all of them. He gave me the best advice. There were a few homes that I looked at that I thought I would be very interested in, and he was able to tell me why they would not be good purchases and why some other homes would be better. And I eventually found the home that I love the most, and I'm so happy to be in it. And they even have this awesome rebate program where they give money back to their buyers and their sellers at the end, which is something that nobody else does in this town. And I've even talked to a few other agents and mentioned that to them, and they said that that was an amazing thing. And so my experience with them was wonderful. I would recommend them to anyone buying or selling a home in Granbury. They're the nicest people, and I just had such a painless first home buying experience with them. It was wonderful.
Hi, my name's Randy Barnett, and this is my wife Liz. We use Texas realestatesavings.com to sell an investment property that was my son's college fund. And I have to say they're probably the hardest working couple we've ever met. You want to say a little bit?
Well, the house that we had that was an investment, we weren't sure when we were going to sell it. Our son's going to college in about 2.5 years, and Greg advised us that the market was right and that now was the time that we should sell. We sold. We didn't even have to list it. We had a buyer, and Greg and Dawn worked with the buyer and with us. Saved us a lot of money that all is going to go towards our son's college education. So we couldn't be happier. They advised us, they walked us through the process. It was painless and easy, and they helped our buyers too, who were thrilled to death to get the home. So we highly recommend Dawn and Greg Willis.
Yes, we've sold a number of homes, and I've never had as good an experience as we had with Dawn and Greg.
Absolutely.
I'm Greg Bryan. This is my wife, Brenda.
Nice to meet you.
We have used Greg and Dawn for our real estate for a few years now. We have sold a home, we've bought a home, and now we have our other home on the market now also. His actions, his work activities are so awesome is the word that always comes to mind. He's a hard worker. He's always trying out new methods of getting the real estate market to show our homes. Brenda?
Well, he's just been, like you said, awesome. He's always been there. He always makes improvement for us. He kind of tries to pull out the things that we really want. And he works through it. He works all the way through it. We usually get what we want. We've used him several years, just like we said, and it's just from a Weatherford home to a on the water, close to the water home in Water's Edge. You got it here in Granbury. You can get it anywhere through him. He's been one of the best guys I've ever met. He gives savings. He gives blessings also. He's one of the best guys I've ever done. As far as a realtor goes, he's an awesome realtor. He's right straight from the heart. That's what he does.
We moved here from Mansfield, and we used Greg's services off and on for probably a couple of years. I mean, we weren't out here every weekend, but when something would pop up, Greg was always right on top of it and giving us our appointments because we were driving all the way out here from Mansfield. And he put up with us for 2+ years and did a very, very good job, we thought.
Well, what took us so long is that we hadn't sold our house in Mansfield. We didn't want to take on the burden of 2 mortgages, so he was nice enough to tour us around Granbury Homes while we were waiting for that to get sold. And when it sold, everything moved just pretty quickly, and we had to start looking every weekend and twice during the weeks. But we found this home, and we really liked it and moved into the neighborhood. But one of the things that I always liked about Greg is that he's very low key. He's not an in-your-face salesman that just pushes and drives you to buy something you might not really be interested in. He's got an answer to every question. He can get on the phone, I guess, with Dawn and get the information that he needs right away and give you the answer to that question, but he doesn't push you at all. The decision is yours. He wants you to be happy with your home, and he's just, like I said, he's just very low key, and with us, that's kind of what we liked.
Well, we've just been invited to talk a little bit about Greg, the realtor we used to buy this house we're sitting in now, as well as sell the house we had to sell in order to buy this one. And the experience was superb on both ends. I'm going to guess he probably saved us as much as 40 grand between both transactions. And we really loved this house and decided we wanted it. And he took some risk by advising us to do some counter offers that he thought would be safe based on his pulse of the market. And that paid off quite handsomely. And it's quite a scary experience, even though I even used to do real estate years ago, a long time ago, so I know some of the ropes about what happens in real estate. And Greg is a man of integrity that you can trust, and he will do something even if it's to his own harm. He values his reputation very highly, and he guards that. And
well, what I was going to say is that this person is very hard to work with, and so he has a lot of questions. Greg was always available, even to the point where Alan would be trying to call, late at night, and somebody would answer the phone, either Greg or his wife, and they work as an amazing team. If you can't get a hold of one, you can get a hold of the other. She had just as much advice for Alan as Greg did at times, and was an amazing support. Really walked us through all the paperwork, made us extremely comfortable, and we saved a lot of money. So that was important also. But his integrity and them working as a team was awesome.
Hi, I'm Cindy Olson, and I'm friends with Greg Willis. He sold me my house that I live in now 4 years ago. We closed on February the 21st, 2012, and he's an excellent realtor, honest, sincere, and I like that he's a Christian. And anytime I know anyone that wants to sell a house, I call him. I haven't known a lot of people, but one that really stands out in my mind is my Aunt Peggy. She's deaf and almost blind, and she had a home in Weatherford that she needed to sell, so we contacted him. Well, first he showed her several houses over here in Granbury, and she picked out one that she fell in love with and got a loan on it, and then he listed her house, and in a matter of a couple of weeks it was sold. So I just highly recommend him. He gave her great discounts on selling her house and on the one that she purchased, and he's a wonderful person, so he's trustworthy, so that's the greatest thing about him.
I came to Greg, and we met Greg and Dawn, and we told them exactly what we wanted in a house, and told them we had a couple houses we wanted to look at on the internet. He was more than happy to take us over to those houses and tell us what he liked about them, what he didn't like about them. Gave us his honest opinion, not just trying to sell us off on the house, which I thought was amazing. After that, he really thought about what we were looking for in a house, and he said, hey, I got this house that you guys would probably really want to look at. You know, I don't know if it's being shown or not yet, but you know, we can try and figure something out. So he brought us over to the house, and it was absolutely perfect. It's exactly what we needed. You know, we worked out a very fair price with the builder. Greg definitely saved us a pretty good chunk of money on the house. And the biggest part of it for me was he was pretty much the easiest real estate agent I've ever worked with. He was concise, to the point, very nice, very honest, and it was just a breeze. It was the easiest real estate process I've ever had. So I would recommend Greg and Don to pretty much anybody who wanted to buy a house.
Yeah, I agree. It was super easy, and anytime we wanted to see another house, as far as the one that we saw to help us choose this one, he let us go over there a couple times and take a look and just get pictures so we could have an idea of what we were going to be looking at here. And he was just fantastic, and they're both, him and his wife are just great people.
Hey, we want to say thank you to TexasRealEstateSavings.com, Greg and Don Willis. They have really been working with us the last several months to help us get the house sold, and we sold it. So we just want to say thank you so much, Greg and Don.
And we worked with them for about, it was probably a year and a half worth of looking at houses. So they were very patient with us looking at houses and being able to let us decide when we decided that we wanted to get a house. They were not pushy at all with us.
Yeah, definitely no pressure at all about anything really.
And savings wise, I know that they were being buyer's agents, that does make some difference with it. And they were very much trying to help us be able to purchase the house at a price that we thought was going to be, that we felt comfortable with as well.